Vuforia Studio has many options to track an AR experience, ensuring the spatial elements of the 3D models match those of the environment. A Thingmark is a uniquely identifiable marker that you can use to help accurately track your AR experience. It provides more accurate tracking than an image target and is best for accurately aligning your AR experience to your product when you don't have a one-to-one CAD model. Its flexibility also allows you to position wherever you need it as a tabletop display. A Thingmark can also open and load your experience in Vuforia View without the need for assigning a library, useful if you have a roving demonstration. If you use a Thingmark to identify the experience, you can still use other types of targets to track your models in AR. To create a Thingmark, simply drag and drop a Thingmark widget into your 3D canvas. In the Properties tab, you can configure the position and size of your Thingmark. The scale of your Thingmark will determine the scale of your AR experience. Match the size between your Thingmark in Vuforia Studio and the one you print out to make sure the AR experience scales properly in reality. You can enter your Thingmark number here as well. This is optional, as leaving it empty will let your experience track off any Thingmark. If you enter your specific number, then the experience will only track with your Thingmark. This can be useful when you have multiple Thingmarks close together. Once your Thingmark has been configured, import your CAD models and position and scale them accordingly, relative to your Thingmark. Here we've imported a model of a 3D printer which we want to use. Think about where in space you want your CAD models to be relative to your Thingmark. For example, we want our 3D printer to be a tabletop experience placed to the side. Once you are ready, you can preview and publish your experience. Print out your Thingmark. Otherwise, you can use another screen to display the Thingmark. This is useful for seeing how different positions and scales work for your Thingmark. Open the Vuforia View app and point the camera at the Thingmark. Make sure it is well lit and doesn't have glare to ensure proper tracking. You can walk around slowly to check that the Thingmark tracks properly in the environment. Depending on your device, you may need to keep the Thingmark continually in shot to maintain tracking. If you would like to use the Thingmark as a means to open your AR experience, you can set this in the Experience Editor under the Configuration pane. In the drop-down next to Thingmark Association, select Thingmarks. You can then enter your Thingmark number that would have been provided to you by a local LEAP representative. Once bound, the Vuforia View app will automatically bring up a list of connected experiences when you scan your Thingmark. Now that you use the Thingmark to track and load experiences, check out our other videos to help you create AR content based around this Thingmark.